And if we have a volunteer to lead us in prayer, we'll do so, followed by the pledge. Okay.
Lord, we love you and thank you, Lord. Just thank you for the opportunity to get together and discuss things at this school district, Lord. We thank you for the blessings and the safety and your love that you've provided for us, Lord, and what we've done to this distance learning. Father God, we ask that you touch these board members tonight, Lord, as they make decisions based off of this school district, Lord, and to keep the students in the forefront. We just love you and thank you. In your wonderful name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Monday, May 4th, 2020 school board meeting. Our meeting today has been called to order. And just for the record, for those who may be tuned in via the telephone and video, who may not be able to see everyone present, just for the record, board members present are Board Member Carol Gibson, Board Member Bart Alford, and via the telephone, Board Members Susie Williamson and Board Member Sharetta Bell. And also present here in the district office it's going to be Ms. Becky Bishop, Mr. Isaac Goyette, Board Attorney Tommy Reeves, Superintendent Shirley Joseph, Principal Sam Stallnaker, and HR Director Dr. Blue. And I think that covers everybody. Okay. We do have one amendment to the agenda, have item 2.1. We'll pull it down for items for individual consideration. And that amendment is the engagement letter with Busher and Company for internal audit. We'll pull it down to 5.1A. 5.1A. All right. Public comment. Do we have any public comment virtually? Whether, okay. For the record, there's no public comment virtually. All right. Consent agenda items. Do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Ms. Gibson, second by Mr. Alford. Will there be a need for discussion? All in favor? Ms. Gibson? Approve. Mr. Alford?
Approve.
Ms. Williamson?
Approved.
Ms. Bell?
Approved.
And I also approve. For the record, 5-0. The consent agenda items have been approved. Items for individual consideration. Item 5.1, request for additional hours. Ms. Joseph.
Okay, our first item for individual consideration is request for additional hours. Ms. Barbara Thomas, who is presently at the high school, serving as a guidance counselor. She's actually was hired as a teacher, which is a 10-month position. The guidance counselor is an 11-month position, and for her to be able to complete this fiscal year 1920, we're asking her for additional hours.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the additional hours?
I'll make the motion to approve the additional hours.
Okay, do we have a
Second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Williamson, second by Ms. Bell. There'll be a need for discussion. All in favor, Ms. Gibson,
Approve.
Mr. Alford,
Approve.
Ms. Williamson,
Approve.
Ms. Bell,
Approve.
and I approve 5-0. Motion carried. 5.1A, the engagement letter with Brewster and Company for internal audit. Ms. Joseph.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'm asking you to approve this engagement letter of Mr. Busher and Company for internal audits. This is a thing that we do annually. He audits the internal books at each school site. And the approximate cost of this will be, is listed in the engagement letter. It will not exceed $13,550. And this is something that we do annually.
Okay, as it pertains to the engagement letter, do we have a motion to approve?
I make the motion to approve the engagement letter.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Would there be a need for discussion?
Can I say one
Okay,
thing?
Mr. Reeves.
Normally, these would have the hourly rates attached, and they don't have the hourly rates attached, but you do have a not to exceed figure, and so if that's about what y'all have been paying, I don't think there's any problem with that. You know, you can certainly do it that way.
It's in the same area.
It's about what we've been
Yes,
paying.
about what we've been paying before.
I think my only concern would be that if they do find some discrepancies, that there is follow-up on it. In other words, because I know we've had in the past where it seems like some schools have the same problem time and time again. And of course, that's up to the school, but that's not up to
I
him.
think it's at the school.
Yeah, that's
He
the
does his
school.
report. This is giving him
Right.
permission to audit the books, and he'll come and make his report. The school needs to follow up.
Yeah,
That we address his concern, the concerns of the
right.
audit.
So that really wouldn't be them, that would be our part. Mhm.
Okay. Any additional discussion? If not, do we have a motion?
I made the motion.
Oh, okay, that's right, that's right.
And
All
I
in
think-
favor?
Approve.
Okay. Ms.
Approve.
Mr. Alford, Ms. Williamson,
Approved.
Ms. Bell,
Approved.
and I also approve 5-0. Engagement letter has been approved. All right, 5.2, contract with Ms. Clara Floyd. Ms. Joseph.
Okay, we're gonna ask you to pull that because I do not have the actual contract, and we'll address that at next meeting.
Well, one thing, if I may.
Uh-huh.
And the superintendent was very nice and asked me to prepare that, and I did not get it done. One of the things, though, I think you could do, you've already got a contract. I think if you all want to keep that same contract and just change it, because I think the only change was it's going from
Let's do it next
you
time.
want to just do it next time? Okay, I'm sorry. But like I said, she asked me in plenty of time, but it's just with other things, we didn't get it done. We'll get it done for the next time, definitely.
Okay, for the record, we are pulling 5.2, the contract with Ms. Clara Floyd to potentially the next board meeting. 5.3, pro share distribution. Ms. Joseph.
Okay, this would be good news for our employees. The pro share is a rebate that we get from the insurance company, and it is generated by the funds that employees pay toward their insurance. And this year, we're giving it back to the employees. It says the insurance company has recommended, the insurance committee has recommended that the pro share refund from Florida Blue for the contract period is from October 18, 2018 through September 30th, 2019 is given back to the active employees and retirees based on the amounts the employees pay toward their health plan. And the total amount that was refunded by Florida Blue was $174,426. And so proportionally, it will be refunded to everyone. And we're gonna try to have it in their May checks.
I think the board needs to approve that.
Okay, well, we need you to approve that recommendation.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the pro share distribution?
I move to,
I'll make the motion to approve the pro share distribution.
Okay,
second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Do we have a need for discussion? All in favor, Ms. Gibson,
Approve.
Mr. Alford,
Approve.
Ms. Williamson,
Approve.
Ms. Bell,
Approve.
and I also approve 5-0. Pro share distribution has been approved. 5.4, Twin Oaks Wayfarer Academy Charter, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, hopefully this is a culmination of a long journey. Last year, we approved the charter for Waypoint, and we never did get a student school number, but part of that is, that we were required to do a contract. This is a contract with them, their way of doing business for the year 2020, 2021. And this, the charter was approved, but we're getting the contract approved, which is part of the process needed for them to get their own school number. And so I recommend an approval of this contract.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, Mr. Reeves.
if I may, this is the same contract the board approved last time, the only difference being the dates, is that
Yes.
accurate? Okay, because I couldn't tell any changes, but it's
Yes,
whatever, 40-page contract, I mean.
yes, it's basically the same. Mhm.
Okay, so we need to.
You need,
Yes, sir, what you're doing is you're considering the charter contract. If you approve the charter contract and everybody signs off on the charter contract, then they will be a charter school. And of course, y'all know, familiar with how that works with the, giving them their separate funds and all of that.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
I make the motion to approve the charter contract with Wayfarer Academy.
point,
All right, do we have a second?
point.
Hmm?
It's on Waypoint.
Waypoint.
Oh. Waypoint.
Waypoint.
Oh,
Oh, in the agenda,
Yeah.
it says Wayfarer.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
got you.
okay.
It's listed,
I got you.
oh,
so. okay.
correct that to Waypoint.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Alford.
Second.
All right, seconded by Ms. Gibson. There'll be a need for discussion. All in favor, Ms. Gibson,
Approve.
Mr. Alford,
Approve.
Ms. Williamson,
Approve.
Ms. Bell,
Approve.
and I also approve 5-0. Motion carried. All right, 5.5, I believe it's gonna be Dr. Blue.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Amen.
Board members, it's fine and well. Would like
Yeah.
the board to approve 5.5, voting recommendation for 2020 and 21.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I may, one thing is we got them listed by name and then instructional, non-instructional, but we don't have like the actual position. Don't we normally get the positions?
I was thinking
Um,
that.
It's not required because, this gives me a little leeway because, last year they were specifically recommended for some, for example, a 5th grade teacher. But what if I need them in a 6th grade teacher? Okay, they're not recommended, so we asking for approval by categories. So give me some leeway. We don't know what this year holds. And I don't want to have to come back to the board and says this person was approved to be a 6th grade teacher and I need her in 3rd grade. And they have the correct certification.
I think you're, as the superintendent, you got the authority to do a teacher on temporary assignment. You
Okay.
can move people around during the year. I think one of the issues though is if you've got somebody that's like, let's say a 4th grade teacher at Lee, let's say, they're gonna get a certain type of a contract. And then if they're a 6th grade teacher in the central school, they're gonna get a different kind of contract. They're gonna get different, aren't they?
Nope, they get the same contract, instructional contract. And the pay grade is basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
The pay grade is based upon the category that I have in there.
Well, I think it's up to the board. I mean, if y'all.
But if you want me to bring them back, but this gives me more, with so much going on with COVID, and we're trying to make it as tight yet loose as possible.
I've never seen it done that way. I would, but I mean, you make a good point. I mean, if the contracts are all gonna be the same, but I mean, so how, if you pick a name, how do they know what they're gonna get an assignment? I mean,
They're gonna get an instructional assignment.
Okay.
I have no good example for you right now.
For your like ones who are multiple, like 11 and 12 months, does that need to be on there on some?
If there were different than the standard, I have the 11-month people denoted. I have the part-time people denoted. I have the 12-month people are basically denoted. And if you look through the instructional, you will see they're different months.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, y'all have the wrong. I've got a different on mine. When did you print that?
Today?
Okay, it's been changed several times today. That's not the most recent one that's on there.
Okay.
This is the most recent one if you look.
Okay.
The one that's posted should have different months by there. If it's not the norm, you got the number of months listed.
I have that on mine. I have the months listed.
I've got ones listed next to mine.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay, I got you.
We had to make some adjustments, and so we had to repost it. Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think it's up to the board. I think if you want to have the exact position, you can certainly do that, or if you want to approve it in mass, you can do it that way.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board? Do we have a motion?
I don't have a issue with it not being there, just because truly they work at the superintendent's discretion wherever she chooses for them to be. So I don't have an issue with it.
I don't either, because principals may need to move teachers around depending on the number of the kids at their school.
Well, and we're in unprecedented times. We don't really know how many students are going to be at what school. So I noticed that they weren't assigned to a particular school, and I'm thinking this allows you the flexibility to put people where they're really needed.
Yes.
I thought about this when I looked at it, and I thought maybe that's why they weren't assigned, because we
That will lock me in if I say these persons are, if I recommend you for a specific school and the enrollment go down and I have to move someone else, and then their argument is that I was recommended and I was approved to teach at this school.
Well, we've been through this before about approving people, and then again, I know we have to do some approving during this time, but I think what's in the back of my mind is that we don't know what's ahead of us, which, this is what we discussed at the Florida School Board Association meeting. I was going to bring this up later on. In other words, we just don't know how many children we're dealing with, and so when we say that we're approving this, that means we're saying every one of these people is going to have a position next year.
Yes.
Okay, whether we need them or not. In other words, if they're all going to have a position.
That's what we're saying right now, as far as I know. I mean, there may be something in the contract will let me eliminate some kids, but the contract also says I've got to have them recommended back by a certain time.
Right, and we wouldn't know until the students come. So I mean, it's one of those deals where we don't know we're gonna be dealing with.
You always have the authority to eliminate positions. So even during the middle of the year, you can eliminate positions. And then if the elimination of positions would result, of course, in people losing jobs, and that's all set out in your union contract, you know, how you would go about doing that. Now, if you think that's an issue, then you probably, though you don't want to do that unless you absolutely have to, and you don't want to, if you think there's an issue that you might have to do that, you probably don't want to go ahead and approve a few of these positions, you know, if you think that you've got to do it that way. But you just gotta, you gotta weigh that out.
Yeah.
Because you also don't want to lose people and, you know.
No, this is the superintendent's recommendation, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go, I respect the superintendent. But that's just some thoughts, you know, that we just don't, and we're not gonna know until school begins. So it's one of those,
Well,
you know.
in all probability, we'll have some people who do
Retire.
not come back or
Right.
retire, and you could hold those slots open if you're thinking that it could be.
Yeah, and we
Because
definitely,
the
don't-
chances of everyone coming back is not high.
well, you're right, and we definitely don't want anyone's job eliminated, you know, for sure. But it's just, you know, we
don't know what's ahead.
don't know what's ahead. That's right.
Okay. I believe we had a motion by Mr. Alford, is that correct?
No.
Or-
mean,
Okay,
Did you?
okay, well,
Was it
do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the employee recommendations for the 2020-2021 school year.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
Second.
I think Ms. Williamson beat you to the draw. That's,
No, that's-
motion by Mr. Alford, seconded by Ms. Williamson. Would there be a need for discussion? All in favor? Ms. Gibson,
Approve.
Mr. Alford,
Approve.
Ms. Williamson,
Approve.
Ms. Bell,
Approve.
and I also approve. 5-0, recommendations approved. Okay,
5.6, no changes, and 5.7, no changes at this time, Madam Chair.
okay, and just for the record, Mr. Blue advised that there are no changes for 5.6 and 5.7. So that's it. Thank you, Mr. Blue. All right, superintendent items.
Okay, I've got a busy couple of things I need to talk about. The one big thing that's on everybody's mind is the Madison County High School graduation. Okay, we haven't been taking this lightly. Okay, and right now I need to publicly thank Mr. Stallnecker and his team for listening to the parents. He's had a Zoom meeting with the parents, and we've met with Kim O'Britton from the health department several times. Yes, we need a graduation, or yes, we also want everybody safe. And so the high school have been meeting, and he's going to come at this time and present their plan for the high school graduation.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Let me turn this back to the side around. I know you can't see much of that map, but I'll get you some hard copy maps after the meeting is over with. But first and foremost, we owe it to these seniors. They've spent 13 years of their life going to school in Madison County. So we want to do everything we can to make a graduation as memorable for them and as feasible for them, and fall within the guidelines of CDC and Madison County Health Department. Got 3 options. I'm going to go over each option, explain the advantages, disadvantages of each option, and explain to you the best case, what we'd like to do, but we're not necessarily sure if CDC will allow it, and then what we will do if CDC will not allow us to do this. And then the backup to what we're going to do, I'll get to that as well. All right. Graduation will go forth on May 22nd. It's either gonna start at 7 o'clock or it's gonna start at 6 o'clock. Depends on which one of these options we're able to work through. The first option, we will have a graduation on the Madison County High School football field. That's option number one. Now, how are we gonna do that and maintain guidelines within CDC? If you're familiar with United States Air Force Academy's graduation, I think it was 2 weekends ago. They did a virtual graduation with no parents. Option one is a modification of that. Option one, if you look at the field, that square is the football field. I'm no artist. I'm a math teacher and a PE teacher. I'm no artist and administrator. But this line here is a traditional stage.
If you can explain it as best as you can for the board members that are not present as well. Yeah, take the mic. Yeah, that'll work.
There you go. I got you. No problem. This line here is your traditional stage, just like we have on your regular graduations. The exception that would do similar to what the Air Force Academy, they placed all their graduates on the football field no less than 6 feet apart. See, if you look, remember our graduation ceremonies, they're chair to chair to chair, not within guidelines. So if we do option one, the graduates would be on the field 6 feet apart. Now the limitation to that, if you see underneath that, is 5 tickets per graduate. If we issue each graduate 5 tickets, if you look at our stadium, if you're familiar with our stadium, it'll hold approximately 3,500 people packed full on both sides of the football field. 5 times 100 is 500 people, plus the graduates. We could spread 500 people on both sides of that football field. However, what may not allow this are the guidelines that CDC puts out. But also, if we do this option here, everybody that gets out of that vehicle, before they get out of that vehicle, will have their temperature checked by Madison County Health Department. And what they'll do then, they'll have their certain partition or certain space in the bleachers to sit. Some may have to sit on home side, some may have to sit on visitor side. Can we really control the social distancing with them in the bleachers? We want to say we can, but we really can't do that. Okay? Any questions about that before I go to 2?
Has the health department approved this option?
I've sat down with health department 2 different times on Friday and today, and when I go through all the options, I'm gonna tell you which one they like the best, if I can do that. They like, all 3 of them will work within the guidelines, but after I explain the options, I'd rather go through each one of them and explain to you which one they like the best.
I mean, from my standpoint, I don't know how we as a district can keep people apart in the stands or the students on the field.
This is least preferred.
Just based upon this time of the year for them, it'll be virtually impossible. Even if we sit them apart, they'll still want to congregate.
Yeah, correct. I'm trying to lay out and paint a full picture to give you the best information that you're going to have. Thank you. Yes. Now, during our Zoom meeting, they talked about several options, several ideas, several comments were brought forth. One of them that was brought forth was, can we have a parade? We'll check into it. So the very next day, I sent Mr. Hightower down and talked to Chief of Police, and he said no, not unless CDC said yes. Because again, you'd have people lined up along the highway, and we can't guarantee the social distancing on the road and them staying in the car. So what we did, option 2 is a combination of that parade, and have an outdoor activity where the parents are involved and the students are involved. Again, with our 103 graduates, each one of them will be given 1 ticket. That ticket is for that graduate and their family members in that 1 vehicle. There is an exception. The valedictorian will get 2, and the salutatorian will get 2. And I'm going to explain why for that in just a moment. That 1 ticket will also give them a corresponding spot in our parade that we're fixing to have on our football field. Okay? So with that parade on the football field and this graduation plan, only 1 person will exit that vehicle, and that's the graduate themselves. The parents, they'll stay in the car. When you come in the gate, first of all, this picture here at the bottom, this is your walk-in gate. This is the parking area. This is the road that goes around the school. These numbers are how the cars will be lined up in the parade sequence. Okay? Yes, it's not to scale. Now, when they come in the gate, they'll come up here and come onto the track. You'll have the cars in order. You'll have a graduate here, here, and right here fixing to get out of their car. These graduates have already been screened. Once we get the procession in place, the health department doesn't have to wait on us to screen the graduates. They can start at their car and move at their own leisure and get all the graduates screened and check their temperature. Now, once that graduate gets up here and the corresponding car beside it, before we get that part, I'm going to have 10 chairs right here in front of the stage. Those 10 chairs are for the families of the valedictorian and the salutatorian. Those are the top 2 graduates, top 2 students at the high school. They deserve the opportunity to sit there and listen to their children give their valedictorian and salutatorian address. Once the valedictorian and salutatorian gives their address, there are 2 cars which will be in the front. The the valedictorian will walk across the stage. The driver of their car will proceed down in front of the stage on the track. The valedictorian will get her diploma. The driver will continue forward. The valedictorian will get off the stage, get in the car. And they'll go out, get back in the car and continue down the track south toward the XL school. They'll go through the gate in front of the field house, hang a right, go back out to the road, then hang a left, then go all the way back around the XL school to the southeast corner and come out on Captain Brown Road.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you saying the graduate is the only person that gets out of the vehicle, everyone else stay in the vehicle?
Everybody else will stay in the vehicle.
And ride along the track?
Right along the track, absolutely correct.
Okay.
With the exception of the family for the Val and Sal.
Okay.
So who's going to hear their speeches though?
We're going to broadcast it over radio.
Oh, okay. So everybody in their cars can be listening to the speeches.
The plan, the first initial plan is to get a low band FM station. Many churches are doing it. My church is doing it. Fellowship is doing it. Madison Baptist is doing it. There's several churches that are doing broadcasting. I think Hopewell is doing it now as well. Getting a low band radio station, almost no problem. Also, I spoke with Isaac today. He's going to run me a Cat 5 cable from the field house. We're going to set up a hotspot in the bleachers in front of the stage. And that hotspot will allow me to take an iPad that the athletic department uses to video their games and practices, put that iPad on a tripod and Facebook Live it as well. So I'm getting it Facebook Live and I'm also getting low band radio. But anyway, back to the graduation ceremony. As student A goes across the stage, student B moves up to the next spot. Now, at each one of these staging points will be a staff member. And also on this end here, as they leave the gate, I can't require all the teachers and staff to be there, but I'm going to ask as many teachers and staff to be there as possible and ask them to line the track so as the students leave, it'd be like driving through a gauntlet. So once the student gets their diploma, they go out and they exit the area, and like I said, they go out the southeast corner. If you've been out in the southeast corner on Captain Brown Road, where the road makes a dog leg to the left and come up the hill, we're going to block that road off. And also, if you've been by the field house going toward the XL school, there's a chain link gate that will slide across that road. We'll block that off. That'll keep people from coming back this way. One way in, one way out. This, ladies and gentlemen, will give them and require the health department to test one graduate, my staff that's here on campus, as well as the Valencel's family. That's option 2. Option 3 is very similar. However, this is our rain delay or inclement weather plan. If we can't do anything, we'll do the best we can to do it in the gym. In the gym, these dots around here are cars parked around the gym facing into the gym. Somebody's gonna get wet. I can't do nothing about that. All right, here at the entrance door on the southeast corner toward the baseball field and track, there'll be a staff member and an SRO. That's a staging point. This line is a staging point. That star is a staff member there, there, and there. Now, as we start the procession, the students move into the first staging point and gradually down to the half-court line. Once this student here at the half-court line, him and his family, comes up to the free throw line, the student will make a left, come around and come up on the stage, go across the stage, meet and greet, fist bump, elbow, whatever we want to do, whatever we feel safe to do, and get their diploma. At the same time, the graduate's family will come over to and meet them as they come off the stage. Then they'll be escorted out the northwest corner, like going by the drama room. They'll make an immediate right and go out that door and come back around and get in their vehicles. Then, once they get in the...
You're letting the family come in with them?
Yes, ma'am. In this plan, the family will be able to come in with them that's in that car that has enough seat belts. And you don't have the copy that I updated since I met with the health department this afternoon. When we talk about the graduate and vehicle, there will be no limousine-style vehicles. Because somebody may want to rent a party bus or party limo and bring in 15 or 20. That's not going to happen. If it's a joint custody issue, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I can't make plans for every situation and every scenario. My job and my focus was to do everything we can to meet the masses. Now, to answer your question, Mr. Alford, option number 2 is the best case scenario. Option number 1, we can't control it. We can't control the people in the bleachers. Option number 2, I can control who gets in and out of that car. I will have enough SROs and I will have enough deputies on staff to help with that as well. And between the staff and folks that we have at the high school, I'll have enough of my staff to help control any movement on the field. Option number 3, it's fantastic, but there's a lot of moving parts.
On number 3, how would you control who's all lined up outside that they're being socially distanced before they come inside?
That's why I'll have SROs and my administrative staff out there as well. See, the plan, this person here is an administrator. So I also have other administrators, and we're going to recruit administrators from the district office to help circulate out here with any deputies or any school resource officers. We met with Lieutenant Whitfield on Friday and talked to him about this plan. This plan is a whole lot easier for them to help us control than this over here. Because somebody, whoever's here, the law enforcement officer that's here, has got to work to make sure that these people go around and get back in their car.
Yeah.
Once they get in their car, they got a choice. Either sit and listen to it on the radio, or you can leave.
Just based upon after it all happens and they're excited, I don't know that I think it's going to be hard to get them back in their car.
You're absolutely correct.
I mean,
So that's why option number 2, after my meeting with the health department today, is the plan that we're going to go with.
If I know that our goal is for the 22nd, but say for instance it did rain the 22nd, is there any way that we could have in the plan if it were to rain, then do it Saturday night to where we're at
Hey,
this
that's
option
simple.
2?
That's not an issue. The main issue that we talked about, because it was brought out, can we delay it to sometime in June? Yes, we can delay it to sometime in June, but the further we delay it, the students, first of all, the students want their diplomas. The students want to graduate. The further that we delay it, the more opportunity that we're going to have to lose control of the students and then want to go on their own way, and then it's going to be more difficult for us to get them to come back.
No, I want to, I think the 22nd is what we need to shoot for, but if it were to rain that night, is there any way we could maybe do it the 23rd to keep from doing option 3?
Absolutely.
Because I don't know that, again, option 3, the logistics look well, but I don't know that once people get the diploma and they get excited and they get outside, they're going to do pictures and you're not going to back to their car.
That's correct.
I agree with Mr. Alford. I like option 2 better, and I had rather to do it the next day as opposed to going to option 3.
That's no issue. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, what if it rains the next day?
Hey, we're
Well,
on
you've got
contract.
Saturday and Sunday, and the likelihood of raining Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon is not going to
Hey,
probably be what's going to happen.
I don't want to sound like I don't want to be smart, and please don't take it that way. Every one of my staff members are on contract, so I can move it back from Saturday to Friday to Saturday to sometime the next week. What we want to do is make it as conducive and meet the needs to what we need for each of these kids.
I think that option 2 is our best and safest option to mitigate the spread of this here in the county. We're not declining in cases here. It's constantly going up daily, and I think that option 3 possibly would open us for having people who are not following the social distance, and option 1 would be a nightmare for the health department.
Correct.
To have to screen all those people.
Right.
I don't know that you could get it done by the time it was over.
Well, they have enough of those radar guns that they can.
That's still a lot of people.
It's a lot of work. But what I can tell you is, in any of these options, if a person has a fever exceeding the limitations of CDC, that person will not get out of the car, including the graduate.
And the health department is fairly confident with option number 2?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am, Miss Susie. I can't think of your last name.
Has
That's okay.
has the health department made recommendations for what our administration team, you and Ms. Joseph, like what type of protection you need? Because again, you'll be coming in contact with a lot of students.
There will be no physical contact.
But even the
The only
distance.
physical contact we will have is, I guess we won't be shaking hands when we're handing
Yeah,
the.
we can wear the gloves, but if I shake your hand and shake his
Right,
hand,
no.
I
That's-
just cross-contaminate.
So
what I'm thinking of is the
Just
distance.
just the
that-
distance.
The distance that you're going to be. All that needs to be thought out before.
We will discuss that with Ms. Albritton, but I
That's why
understand.
on the stage, I'm sorry, but there's only going to be me, Ms. Joseph, Mr. Daniels, the Val, and the Sal.
No, I wasn't asking about being on the
Well,
stage.
what I'm saying, why I said that, on that, if you remember the stage that we have, the platform,
We've never been on the stage.
no. With the four, what I meant by that, Mr. Alford, with the 4 people that I talked about, plus the Val and Sal, there's enough room on that stage for us to spread apart and maintain the guidelines of CDC.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it needs to be some thought into how you're going to hand them the diploma 6 feet away and how you're going to make pictures 6 feet away. Like what would be the CDC recommendation for that? Because the picture and the diploma handing is something that will have to be done.
We hadn't got that far yet, but we will work out the logistics
work
of it.
through
We
that.
want to know which method works best for the group. And then we're going to start now working on the little finer points. Now, one other thing, change this up a little bit. Mr. Starnaker, will you review how the interest on campus, how we control it, who's going to be on
absolutely.
campus?
That's a good issue. Let me erase option 3 and I'll show you on the map. Well, maybe. It's in my pocket.
I think that would be a good non-visual.
Okay, this is the high school in the middle, okay? Here's your entrance gate on the west side. Here's your entrance exit gate on the east side by the oak
That's
tree.
Highway 90.
Yes, 90. I'll have an SRO, an administrator right there. When that car drives in, show me your ticket. You don't have a ticket,
You don't come on.
that
campus.
SRO and that administrator is gonna put you back out the gate.
So
That's how we're gonna
we're gonna
control who comes in and who comes
who's
out.
on campus.
That is your initial access point. The only people that will have the opportunity to come in is if you guys want to come in and y'all spread out in the bleachers, that's totally up to you. But we'll get you a ticket or we'll get you a pass to do so. But no students, no general public will be able to come in past that point without a vehicle pass gate or vehicle pass ticket.
And the student will have to ride in with their parents.
Correct.
They can't drive their own vehicle.
Based off of the situation and circumstances we're in, and to maintain the safety of all our students and my staff, your staff, this is the best that we can do as option 2.
And if they refuse to do it, they just don't participate.
They don't participate.
I'm happy with option 2. I think it's the best, the safest, and it'll still honor the graduates.
Okay, any other questions? Ms. Susie, Ms. Bell?
No, I'm fairly confident with option 2 with being able to change that date if it does have bad weather, that we
Right.
can't do it that date, that we just change the date instead of going to a different option.
I do want to point out, because I'm sure that you'll be asked, after our Zoom meeting, we put together a small survey and sent that survey and mailed it out to all the parents, placed it on Facebook, placed it on the school's webpage. That survey also had 3 options on it before we talked about these. The first survey was to do the graduation inside with all the seniors and video it, no visitors, no guests. The second part of it was to delay it. The third part of it was to do 3 separate ceremonies, A through F, G through whatever, then the last third through Z. Now, I had 21 of those surveys returned. Out of those 21, 13, which is about 12% of all the graduates, wanted to delay it. 7, which is about 6% of all the graduates, wanted a separate ceremony in thirds. 1 out of the graduates, less than 1%, wanted just a video. And when you look at those percentages and that number of respondents, I still firmly believe option 2 is the best way to go.
Well, even if you were to delay it to when? Because there's no sight of when this is going in.
Absolutely correct.
So, I mean, we could be delaying it until December. I mean, I'm hopeful we're going to start school in August, but there's no guarantee at this point that we are. So, I mean, delaying it, I think, is out of the question. We need to do something.
Correct.
We
I
need to do
certainly
something.
understand that and I respect it. And I felt like I had to share that information based off the data, because I'm quite confident. Somebody may ask you, well, he sent out the survey, but he's doing this. So now you know why. 13% wanted to delay, 6 or 7% wanted separate, and 1% wanted a video only and nobody there.
Of only 23 people.
23 out of 103. Excuse me, 21 out of 103.
But even if you were to video with no one there, you still get back to the social distancing and less than 10 in a group.
Correct.
So, I mean, I don't even know that that's even an option for them to even consider, but unless the CDCs will suddenly raise the number.
Absolutely correct.
And that's not, I mean.
You're absolutely correct. Okay.
Mr. Sam, I think that the option 2 is a good decision for the students and the graduates,
She say 2?
because I keep them apart.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your support and trust and confidence in what we're doing at the high school. If I can I throw something out about my call today with DOE?
Yes.
We had a lot of good comments with Jeff and Mr. Crumley
on the school's performance. They were excited about where we're going with history and some of the.
They don't know where they're from, Bureau of School Improvement.
Yes, from the Bureau of School Improvement, I'm sorry. They were excited about some of the issues and some of the things that changes that we had in place. We were confident, based off of the data we had we been able to finish high school the way we were there, where we're going, we would have been a seat, a pretty good seat. But unfortunately, you got to play with the cards you're dealt. And I didn't sign up for this. The students didn't sign up for it. Teachers didn't either, but we're doing the best we can with what we got. But again, thanks a lot and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Stallnaker.
Thank you, Mr. Stallnaker.
Thank
That's part one of my comments. No, I've got some more comments. And a couple of meetings back, we had some comments or questions about how were we grading the students. And the district did come up with a plan because we did have to take a stance. And in this document from the Department of Ed on March 17th, it specifically say requirements for graduation and promotion and final course grades will be evaluated as though those assessments which were canceled did not exist. And so it's telling us it's no automatic promotion. It says that it will evaluate with what you have. And so that's what we're doing. But we didn't want to penalize any student because of going to this new method of graduation. They were required to work, and we have kids working the full time. So what we've come up with, our plan is that with the kindergarten, they're a different beast. We went to standard-based report cards this year. And so with kindergarten, we says all the assessments that's been taught, all the standards that have been assessed through the third 9 weeks, we would not be introducing, requiring them to do any new standards, but they must have mastered 80% of those standards. That was for kindergarten only. And for the 1st through 5th grade, because passing is a 70, we says the average that we give the students cannot be less than a 69. Basically, if you're failing already for your first 3-9 weeks, you're still going to fail. But if you're not failing, no matter what you did, this last 9 weeks will not cause you to fail. We did not want the work that the students did the last 9 weeks to fail. And that's why it's a 69 for your 1st through 5th grade. Failing at the high school, 6 through 12 is a 60. And so the lowest grade they can get is a 59. They can always get higher. But we wanted to put something in place. We did not want them to be working in vain. If a student went home and worked, yes, it's, there was a possibility that they could increase their grade. But whatever they've done, it would not cause them to fail. Because it's a lot of different moving parts at home, a lot of things we can't control, a lot of things that kids can't control. And so we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And so that's our grading scale for the last 9 weeks. Questions or comments about that?
I thought you made it clear last time. I just want to make sure you ensure that the parents understand what you just explained to us.
I'm going to publish it on their website and talk with, I can't ensure that the parents, because I've been having a lot of comments and whatever, but that's what we preach every week. We're preaching that. We're preaching that to the kids, to the staff.
When will the grading end, Ms. Joseph?
May 22nd.
May 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have anything else?
I did, but I can't find it.
Well, they have time to bring up their grade if they haven't been working.
Okay, I don't have, but what we've done, and I don't have it with me, I put together a schedule for the last week of school. For the 15th, that's when all the seniors is going to start returning their devices because the senior grades have to be back in place. So they can have the grades calculated for graduation. So the 15th, that's when they start bringing their devices back. On the next week, the kids will start, other students will start returning their devices back. Now, if a kid is still working, they may keep their devices until that last day, the 22nd, but we've got to have these devices back. We also have a plan in place, and the principal's going to get with the teachers, but the teachers make an appointment, come out to the classroom and clean out their classroom. But they've got to make an appointment so we can maintain that social distance, because we cannot deal with the crowd. We're working this, and we're working with this different staff. We're not requiring them to come back, but we know when we left on the 13th, we were planning on being back on the 20th. And a lot of them left a lot of their personal things in the room because some of them didn't come back on the 23rd. So we're giving them the opportunity to come back someday with an appointment with the principal to clean out their personal items.
Now, does that include the students as well? Because they
Nope.
probably left their lockers filled, I would think.
The custodians go by and clean out the lockers, but we're not planning on the students going back. But if a student can always make an appointment with the principal
Okay.
and go back in
Yeah.
there.
If they can make an appointment, that gives them the opportunity
Yes.
then.
Mhm. We've always told them they can make an appointment with the principal to go back, because a lot of the rooms have been cleaned and we do not want them to go back and get contaminated.
Right. Well, this would be the lockers, I would imagine, where their stuff would be.
Okay. Any other questions? Now, again, that's sort of what, if a teacher needs something different, they talk to someone, we'll work with them. But we're just trying to put some kind of process in place so they'll know we're not keeping them away and we're not requiring them to come back. But they will, if they wish to come back, we cannot have them all bombarded at the same time.
Right. Now, how will you give this information out to the parents?
Okay.
You'll put it on the website and
We're
all
gonna
this?
put it on the website, and we'll do, Connect Ed one calls
Right.
to them.
Okay.
And a
because-
lot of teachers are still communicating with their students, and so
Oh, yeah.
we'll use that method also.
That's right. That'd be good.
Okay, any questions about that? My one last thing is that this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and tomorrow is Teacher Appreciation Day. And we appreciate all of our teachers.
Okay, Mr. Reeves.
No, sir, unless you have questions of me.
All right, Ms. Gibson.
I was just going to say that every Friday, the Florida School Board Association has a webinar that includes all the school board members in the state of Florida. Finances were discussed at length the last two sessions. And I don't want to put it doom and gloom, but it's basically the governor hasn't signed the budget and he's going to take a hard look at it. So we have to be prepared for whatever can happen. It may be sliced in half, maybe down 25%. Schools are heavily financed by the sales tax, which of course involves tourism, and we know what's happened to that in the last 6 weeks. We've been cautioned to look ahead and make decisions, some good decisions. It said these are uncertain times, unprecedented and challenging times. Again, I'd like to thank all of our employees, especially our teachers, that we're going to honor them this week and every day. I've spoken to several teachers and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. They are working hard but they're positive about it. Thank you.
Mr. Alford.
I would like to thank all the teachers for all their hard work, and with this upcoming week, Teacher Appreciation Week. And again, truly, this has really been something that the teachers probably had never dreamt of that they'll be going through with this, that they've gone through in the last couple weeks. I too think that we need to be very prepared for the fall of what could come with the budget cuts. If you back several years ago, Ms. Williamson was on the board. We started and then we were cut after we started, and I could see that happening this next year where possibly we could, like Ms. Gibson was saying, the tourism drives a lot with our budget, and with that being so low at this point, that we could feel the effect of it. So we just need to be prepared. I want to thank Ms. Joseph for the job she's done in guiding us through this. Again, she's been very calm, and if she is upset, you're not going to see it. So I do appreciate that. But again, I appreciate all the teachers and the work they're doing and all the staff. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Williamson.
Yes, I would like to thank the administration, the staff, and the faculty for going so far beyond what they ever thought that they would have to do. And everybody in every department has stepped up to make sure that this goes as well as it can go under these trying times. I'd like to thank Ms. Joseph for her superb leadership through these difficult times. These superintendents at this time of the state of Florida are facing something no other superintendent has ever imagined, and we are weathering it well as can be. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bell.
Yes, I would like to say thank you, and I appreciate all of our teachers, our office staff, our custodial staff, our lunchroom staff, our paraprofessionals, and our district staff, and everybody that works together to make things run right. All I can say is job well done.
All right, thank you. And I also like to thank all of the teachers as well. Being a child of a retired teacher, I understand the hard work and dedication that all of the teachers put into their livelihood. And so I'm highly appreciative of all of the teachers at all of the schools. I also wanted to just personally thank Mr. Stallnaker and his staff and everyone at the school, parents of all of the high school seniors, and just everybody that did everything or that are doing everything to try to make the graduation or their high school year, what's left of it, memorable. And there is even a young lady, I think her name is Kashana Williams. She started a Facebook page to adopt a senior. Basically, the vision was to have at least two people to adopt each high school senior from Madison County High School, as well as James Madison. And I think as of last count, they were down to just a few students left. And so I thought that was an awesome feat to have two people across the community just to adopt each senior and just kind of help them and do whatever for them in their own way. So I thought that was remarkable. And the efforts that Mr. Stallnaker and the staff put into trying to get something memorable for the high school seniors, I thought was very remarkable. I can remember my senior year back in '88. I think Mr. Alford remember as well. He's my classmate. We did a lot of things that last year. There were a lot of events that took place that year, and for each senior year, and they're missing that. So I think as much as we can do for them will be very, very important. So I commend them for doing a remarkable job.
I agree with you. That's you can't miss your graduation.
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you again, Mr. Stallnaker. We appreciate what you're doing, and I look forward to a graduation.
Okay. All right. On that note, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Ms. Gibson?
Approve.
Mr.
Approve.
Alford? Ms. Williamson?
Approve.
Ms. Bell?
Approved.
And I approve 5-0. Meeting adjourned.